In this step-by-step tutorial, I'm sharing how to do the 90s blowout on naturally curly hair at home. I'll walk you through details on blowout essentials you'll need, heat protection, maintenance, and more. Blow drying curly hair straight is no easy feat, okay? You definitely want to make sure that you have the best tools to help that process go along a lot smoother. And when you use higher quality products, it helps prevent damage as well. When you are doing a blowout, you don't want to prepare your hair anything like how you prepare your hair for a silk press. You definitely want to make sure it's well moisturized, or else it is not going to come out smooth. I'm going to be going in with 2 different heat protectants. The first one is by JVN, and this one is the Blowout Styling Milk. This one helps to moisturize my hair. For my second heat protectant, I'm going to be using the Color Wow Dream Coat Supernatural Spray. This one isn't the extra strong one, it's just the regular one, the first one that came out. It has silicones in it, and for those of you who are anti-silicone, hear me out for just a second. Silicones are really good at forming a protective barrier around the hair, making sure that it does not get damaged. When my hair is curly, I do not use silicones in my hair care at all, but if you're heat styling your hair, use a silicone-based heat protectant coupled with another heat protectant that's going to take care of your hair underneath. Another tip I want to give you guys, make sure you have a lot of these little tiny clips. I'm specifically saying little because it's a lot easier to wrap it into tighter sections. Parting your hair when you're blowing it out is essential because we're going to be doing it from damp to dry. You don't want any of the wet sections to touch the dry sections, or else your hair is going to revert. I have a bunch of these little clips, and I also have these butterfly clips that are a larger size. Just make sure that you have clips that hold the hair tight so that it doesn't touch the dry sections, because that will create a whole big mess. You're gonna have to keep on blow drying that section to keep it dry, and we don't want to overdo it with the heat. As for the blow dryer that I'm using, this one is the Tymo Air High blow dryer. This blow dryer is really good because it only goes up to 210 degrees. That is extremely low for straightening your hair. Now, if you think about it, when you're flat ironing your hair, you could use up to like 425 degrees. This is nothing in comparison to that. And so far, my hair has not gotten damaged when I blow dry it straight with this blow dryer. And of course, all the other things that I just mentioned to you guys with my heat protectants. If you guys have a high quality blow dryer, you will definitely be a step ahead of the game, because this is a big part of the reason why I'm able to get a very smooth blowout, especially for curly hair. The best brush to straighten curly hair is using a boar bristle brush. Ooh, that's a tongue twister. This is going to create the tension that we need for a smoother blowout. Another thing I wanted to mention, because I know I'm going to be asked this a lot, Michelle, why don't you just use a blow dryer brush? You know, the ones that have the blow dryer built in. Let me tell you, sis, if you have curly hair, this is not going to straighten your roots because of the way that it's built. You just can't get close to the roots enough to straighten them out. I feel like a lot of people who use that, they use it and then they have to go in with a flat iron to get the roots to be straight. With this and a nozzle, it's a lot easier for me to direct the heat exactly where it needs to be and to get my roots really smooth. I did shampoo my hair twice. If it's not clean, this can make it more likely for you to get heat damage. And then I went in with my favorite Honey and Sage Deep Conditioner. That product is a perfect mixture of protein and moisture to help support your hair and keep it nice and healthy and strong before going in with heat. I can't stress that enough because I want you guys to keep your hair really healthy, and I want you to be able to switch back and forth from curly to straight. I don't want you to straighten your hair for the look and then you have irreversible damage that you have to cut off afterwards. I feel like those are all the questions that pop up a lot. I'm gonna link the products that I use down below. If I missed anything at all, you guys could always leave me a comment and I'll do my best to make sure that I answer those. Now that all of that information is out of the way, let's get started. And I'm afraid of how dry my hair is gonna be when I take this out. I've had it in this towel for like 3 hours, so yikes. It's very important that you stay as organized as possible when it comes to straightening your hair, because it's very easy to get overwhelmed and just want to give up. Go a steady pace and go in sections. I'm going to divide my hair into 4 sections, 4 quarters. That way it's a lot easier for me to manage, and I'm going to re-wet each section. This is your best friend when it comes to getting a very smooth blowout. I'm going to re-wet some of these sections and then put my favorite styling milk on top of all of this. What's in this bottle is just distilled water. It's nothing special. It's not like a special concoction. You guys know I'm always making different things for my hair. What's great about using water is that it's not going to weigh your hair down at all. It's just going to provide it with the moisture that it needs, and this is not going to make your blowout super greasy. It's very easy to overdo it with other products, but not with water. One more thing I forgot to mention, I will be mixing in a little bit of jojoba oil with my blowout styling milk. If you must know, it is a Michelle concoction. This is jojoba oil infused with fenugreek seeds. This helps to contribute to making my hair thicker and stronger, and that is exactly what I'm going for. But you do not have to use a herbal oil like I love to do. I'm just a crazy herb lady, so I'm gonna be doing that. Use whatever oil your hair likes. Now that my hair is wet, I'm gonna split this into 2 sections. Remember when I said I'm putting this into 4 quarters? Now this is going to be 2 quarters. I'm gonna clip this one out of the way for now. You see how these clips come in handy? You have to have a bunch of these little clips. This has to do 1 to 2 pumps over your entire head, but I like to do 1 to 2 pumps per section just to make sure my hair is fully covered and fully protected. To evenly spread the product around, I'm going to brush it through with this little Tingle Teaser brush. I like this one because it doesn't rip or tear my hair. I just decided to use these ones for the bigger sections because this is easier for me to grip. I'm still going to use a mixture of bigger and smaller clips all together. Now for the harder parts, we're going to have to organize this and split it into even smaller sections. I usually split it back into about like 3 sections. Sometimes I wing it, but I need to split it into smaller sections before I even start blowing out. You always want to work your way from the back to the front and never ever go from the front to the back. You also want to go from the bottom up. So that's why we're starting with this small section right here. So really it's about the tension and how wet your hair is when you're doing this. Once we have the section, you want to go ahead and detangle it. Make sure there aren't any knots. Now we want to grip the hair. So I'm going to take my brush, I'm going to place it at the root, and I'm going to wrap it around like so. This is what's going to create the tension. I'm not trying to pull it all the way through just yet. I'm going to go from the roots, dry the roots completely at all 4 corners, and then to the ends. You could roll it up a little bit more so that you could hold it at its fully stretched state. Let me show you again. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to place it to the root and I'm going to brush it through and wrap the ends around. I'm going to hold it taut, brush it through, wrap the ends around. This is how we're going to dry it into a straight shape. We're basically just drying it as it's stretched out. This is a little bit more detailed than if you were to just stretch your hair in bigger sections. The detailed smaller sections are the world of difference, and also how wet your hair is. first section is done. Another thing I did want to mention to you guys, when you're using this brush, be prepared that your arms are going to be sore and your wrists and your hands are going to be sore, especially if this is the first time you're doing this. This is a labor of love. I'm not going to make it seem like it doesn't take a lot of effort, because it does, but I feel like it's way worth it, because when I do it myself, I take the most extra care of my hair and I make sure that it is fully protected, and I feel like I get the best results when I do it myself. I want you to keep in mind that when you are using this brush, make sure that you're spinning it with your fingers, not with your wrist like this, but with your fingers. And this is going to make your fingers get really tired, but that's how you get that really nice bounce at the end. Try to grab smaller sections than I did for the smoothest results. Using the width of your nozzle as a guide is a good way to determine how large the section should be. And I'd say the more of a beginner you are, the smaller the section should be. My blow dryer is set to 210 degrees on its highest speed. I find that lower than that doesn't really straighten my hair, but I'm repositioning my brush as I go to different corners of my hair to make sure that I'm drying my hair properly. If you're ever unsure as to whether your hair is dry or not, once the brush stops sticking when you're sliding it through like this without sticking to your hair, that's how you know that your hair is fully dry. Halfway through doing the back section of my hair, I swapped to using this really big round brush. This one is made out of ceramic. It makes things a little bit faster. I'm going to show you guys how to do the rest of my hair with this one. If you are a beginner, like you have not tried to blow dry your hair at all, I would also recommend this brush. I'm recommending so many brushes. Honestly, guys, this is the series of brushes that helped me to master this. This is really good for beginners. It helps you to get a very good grip on the roots. If you don't want to go in with this round brush first, start out with this one and then go in with this baby to make it dry a lot faster and to give it the curl. This round brush comes with this little thing to help part your hair. Y'all, so tell me why I was using the pick the wrong way. If you have the same round brush, you can actually stick it in the bottom and use it to part your hair that way. Now I'm gonna go root to tip with this Dream Coat. Follow up with detangling and then go in with your boar bristle brush. When you use it, clamp it as close to the root as possible to stretch them out and dry the roots on all sides, back, underneath, front, and top, then all the way down to the ends. And remember, the entire point of using a boar bristle brush first is to straighten the hair because our hair is curly, and the round brush is to speed up the drying process and to create the 90s blowout style curl. I go by feeling when it comes to knowing if a section is done, so when it starts to easily glide through the second brush without resistance, it's just kind of rolling seamlessly, I know it's 100% dry. Just like how I described earlier, you'll feel like a sticking feeling if it's still wet. You basically just repeat this process until you've completed each section. During the blowout, keep the blow dryer in constant motion. Concentrating the heat in this way is more gentle and it prevents heat damage. If you ever find yourself in a situation where the brush is just stuck, maybe your hair got tangled or it just won't pull through, take the heat off of your hair and unravel the brush the opposite way of how you rolled it up, and your hair should come free. Don't ever try to just rip the brush through or pull it through. You could always stop, take it out, and then do it over again. I do this all the time, and I tried to show you guys as much as possible with also editing out all the fluff so that you can see exactly how I'm doing it step by step. Sometimes when I'm using the boar bristle brush, I need to just rest my hand or I put it down and then it just go back through with the same brush until I'm all the way down to the ends. If my brush ever gets stuck, I do not want the blow dryer sitting on my hair. That's exactly how we can easily damage our hair, and I want to avoid that because I love my curly hair. This is a, temporary switch up. It's not a permanent style for me, so it does matter that I'm able to go back to curly. After I finish curling my hair with the blow dryer, let it cool in this shape and then let it out. We are almost at the top of the mountain. Oh my god, this is taking forever because I'm filming it. To maintain my blowout and to add tighter curls, I use flexi rods, but note that if you want the curls to stay as large as they are after your blowout, use magnetic rollers for this part instead, or the Velcro rollers. I don't like the Velcro rollers because I feel like they just snag my hair. I sectioned off the crown area of my head because that's where most of the layers are. I'm placing my hair on top of the flexi rod and then rolling it under towards my face, bending it in place so that it stays, and I'm doing the same thing with the back section. Once I'm done with that, I cover it with a satin scarf, sleep on it overnight, and it maintains it perfectly. I actually prefer doing this with one large flexi rod because it's more comfortable to sleep in, but you could try both methods and see which one works better for you. Maybe magnetic rollers will work better for you as well. The next morning, after taking it down, my blowout has more shape and body before I put the flexi rods in. However, I did not love how the front section came out, so I re-rolled it into a side part, added a little more heat to set the curl in the direction I wanted it to fall, and it worked out really well. To maintain my blowout in the shower, I use 2 satin caps and a few shower caps to ensure no steam gets to my hair, because once that happens, girl, it's over. Like, I don't allow myself to apply heat for touch-ups throughout the time I keep this style. The extra precaution is very helpful. I'd even recommend washing your face at the sink instead of in the shower. You can control the water flow a lot better, and there won't be any steam to make it revert. If you want to be even more careful, you can wear a satin head wrap and a shower cap at the sink to prevent water from splashing into your blowout. For my girls who love to work out, all I do to preserve this is I put my hair into a top knot, then I use a little sweatband, and I make sure that this is very taut around my edges so that I don't sweat them out. Once I'm done working out, I wait until this is completely dry before I take this off. Don't take it off while it's still wet, or else your hair is going to revert really quickly. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Hey Lotus Loves, today I'm sharing a simple makeup routine you could do every day to work with what you have and enhance your natural beauty without causing too much of a fuss. Let's get into it. Now that my eyelashes are making me look alive and awake, I'm gonna go into color correcting. If you have any areas of your face where patches are a little bit darker, you definitely want to color correct them first, but you want to do it the most simple way possible. And what I found is using a color correcting stick has been the simplest, easiest way for me to do that. The color correcting